Hello, this is Taha.
This is Anaina,
This is Movie Masala.
and we're here to yap at you about films we watched recently.
And today we're doing Bugonia by Yorgos Lanthimos.
Where's my hair?
Your hair has been destroyed.
You shaved off my hair?
Yes, we've shaved off your hair.
Why have you shaved off my hair?
To prevent you from contacting your ship.
My ship?
Your ship.
What ship?
Your mothership.
So, new film by Yorgos Lanthimos, who previously directed Kinds of Kindness, which was, if we remember correctly, one of your least favorite films of the year.
Yep.
But has also directed Poor Things, which was one of the best films of 2023.
I love that film.
100%. Also directed The Favorite, which is really good.
I love that film.
It's genuinely one of my favorite Olivia Colman performances. He's also directed The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is such a great, uncanny film. So Yorgos Lanthimos can be a mixed bag, will always be unique, is at least something I can say objectively to some degree.
I like to characterize him as the strange, unhinged author.
Fair enough. 100%. 100%. So this is his new film. It's written by Will Tracy, who also wrote The Menu, which I did really enjoy. And I think the writing of this film helps him to some extent as well.
It's also based on a book, a Korean book, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, it's also based on a Korean book by Jang Jun-won.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder. So yeah, exactly. So I think the writing of this film helps because immediately when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is interesting. Two very conspiracy-minded people kidnap this very high-powered CEO played by Emma Stone. The conspiracy theorists are played by Jesse Plemons and Aidan Delbis, Dawn and Teddy respectively, are convinced that Michelle, who's Emma Stone's character, is an alien. Because why else would you do all of this? And she's clearly trying to make the human race subservient and stuff like that.
Okay. I mean, it's on the same level of strangeness. And it has the same actors as Kinds of Kindness, Emma Stone, who I think is Yorgos Lanthimos' muse at this point.
Honestly, yeah.
And Jesse Plemons. So I'm like just from this much, I'm geared up for a very strange, very interesting watch.
Fair enough. I think this film might be one of his more restrained films that he's made in the last at least 5 years. Like, it genuinely feels like you tone down some of his eccentricities because unlike something like, again, Poor Things or Kind of Kindness, there's no uncanniness to it necessarily in the way of like how the characters are behaving. They make sense with the plot. All of the acting in Poor Things, all of the acting Kind of Kindness, even to some degrees like The Killing of the Sacred Deer, all of those things, they have an uncanniness to the way the actors are giving their performances, which adds to this aesthetic of this film. In Bugonia, it's very straightforward. These people make sense in the real world.
Yeah.
Most of his characters in other films, they don't make sense in you're like, real people don't act like this. But that's not the point. The point is that they work like this in the film. So I think it's a very restrained film from him in that regard, right? And I think I don't need to really explain the plot for you to understand that this film is talking about like a highly capitalist society and how that makes people conspiracy theory minded, such as like, again, Dawn and Teddy, right? And like this idea of like, how can someone be human if they're doing such inhumane things to the planet and to the other people on it?
I mean, these are all fair enough thoughts and like beliefs to have especially in the current world we are living in. So like, and I 100% have for sure thought about one billionaire at one point and gone, why would you want to do this to like your fellow man? So I definitely I can like the rooted in reality-ness of it is evident.
Exactly. And I think after the kidnapping happens, right, it's primarily driven by the performances, right? Jesse Plemons is really good, again, because he's really trying his best to play these like unhinged, weird characters in a while. Emma Stone, like you said, Yorgos Lanthimos' moves is also really good at just, you kind of see her trying to maintain power because power is such a familiar concept to her. She knows how to take power, be this independent, strong force. But so this film between Teddy, who's like, you can't change my mind. I already know what to believe. Everything you're telling me, even if it has it's what you want us to think, right? It's that level of conspiracy mindedness that there's no scientific evidence you can show me I'll change my mind.
Yeah.
So it feels like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, right? And like Emma Stone's continuously trying to figure out of like, how do I get away? Do I just say, yes, I'm an alien. Yes, I'll help you out. Or do I just keep... And so she keeps going back and forth of saying yes to him, but also saying you're deluded. You're mentally unwell, which is not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this film at its best makes you feel bad for both characters. Where one side you're like, clearly Emma Stone does not deserve to be electrocuted, because I don't think any person deserves to be tortured.
Yeah.
That's insane. On the other hand, clearly Jesse Plemons' character suffered, and like also like Aidan Delbis' character really suffered and got hurt through the film and through this course of this women's actions and how they've... So it clearly is an idea of like, I don't like either of them. These are two sides which I feel very bad to me. I think that's where the film works best, in this mash of gray kind of at times.
It's not painting a clear bad guy, good guy, or a good guy, bad guy binary. It's all very kind of mixed up.
Exactly. And like, I think for the major chunk of this, it felt like this idea of like, you take these ideas of like these opposing forces and put them to these logical extremes and then make them butt head in this scenario. I think also Aidan Delbis' character plays an important point. Aidan Delbis is autistic, and his character in the film is clearly is shown to be neurodivergent. It's not explicitly stated he's autistic, but I think it also shows how you can, like, again, that conspiracy theory mindedness is all, you kind of can be all consuming with it, you know? And how basically Teddy is taking down with him. Like, part of it is this idea of like capitalism versus like exploitation. It has a metaphor of bees at the very start of this film, apiaries, which very much works with this idea of like worker bees, queens, exploitation. But I think there's also a point with Teddy and what it's saying of like being just too consumed, that it consumes you. Like, there's a sense of revenge that consumes him. And you can see that it hurts what he wants from it, and is the reason he's been able to be exploited to some degree as well.
Fair enough, yeah.
And so this film goes on, and then like, I'll get into spoilers now, so spoiler alert. Emma Stone does manage to trick Teddy and kind of escape. And this film could have ended there. And then you have this whole scene where it's revealed that Teddy was fully correct. That Emma Stone was an alien from this other galaxy, that humans are just their like weird creations, and that the ship that he theorized they lived in is very similar to the actual ship they live in. They do communicate with their... Every single weird conspiracy theory thing he said was correct. And I am in two minds about this ending, right? Partly because I feel, I don't want to say it's not what I wanted, because I think it's weird to critique a film by saying it's not what I wanted. I think the message feels hollowed out when you just say one character was fully right in his conspiracies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm kind of thinking about it as well. And I'm like, I don't necessarily love that, because all that has built up to this moment, as you described it, all the kind of realness, all the stuff that we see as like problems in the real world, it all just gets negated by this like fantastic element. And I'm not saying that like, if you've built this up, you should keep it going, or that the film is meaningless without it. It just seems kind of odd. Like, what are we getting at here?
Exactly. It's like, okay, then what was the point of all of it? Like, realistically, like, I don't see what you wanted me to take out of it at the end. Like, not again, like, it has to have like inherent meaning to it, but I feel you were trying to say something, and then you just shoved in this weird twist that kind of just muddled everything up into this weirdness. And like, my most charitable aspect, like a very charitable reading I have with this, is maybe the idea of saying like, sometimes these people we think are on the fringes do understand what is happening, but like, we overlook this, or we don't look at it, and it turns out that, you know, it's always right. But my issue with that is, that's stupid. Because oftentimes the conspiracy is not that there's a shadow government, it is that the actual government is evil, you know?
Yeah.
It's sometimes the conspiracy is in front of your eyes, which is what the film's first message felt better at doing until the end 15 minutes, where it just was like new thing that it just felt needless.
Yeah, no, I feel like I just read the synopsis of the book that it's based on, which is called Save the Green Planet. And the book also has the same plot line, spoilers for anyone, but it has more of like a core to it, which is like humans were created, but they are now destroying the planet, so we must get rid of them. Like, that's why it's a failed experiment.
I mean, yeah, Emma Stone does say all of this. Emma Stone's character does say all of this to... First, you think she's just saying this to get Teddy on her side and escape.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out all of that is real. My issue with that is that's a 2-minute monologue that happens, and that's all that is explored with it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have mind if that's what was explored with it, of humans being this... It shouldn't just be a monologue that is said, and then nothing else is built on top of it.
Yeah, sorry, I think that's what I was saying with the kind of comparison with the book, where it feels like the book is way more invested in the actual idea rather than just throwing it in.
Yeah, I don't mind it. That is an idea you want to use. That's fine. Like, again, I think this just then doesn't feel like again, I've not read the book. The book could also just be bad. I don't know. But
Fair.
yeah, it feels like kind of a meh idea to me. And I think someone definitely told Yorgos Lanthimos, hey, listen, here, this time, you can't do weird nudity stuff. Like, no, you can't. And like, no weirdness, like just really curtails him. He almost managed to do it. He almost managed to make a movie without delving into his like unique accents. Now, can't say it. You know what I mean? His uniqueness. And then at the end, he was like, fuck it. And just ended it with that. And you couldn't stop him. It was too late.
Yeah. It's like he's suffering from his own success.
Yeah, I don't know. Suffering from his own success is just someone who just refuses to move away from their own style or their own like indulgences, if you will, sometimes.
Yeah.
When he's like really able to have everything, saying Yorgos Lanthimos films are a real treat to watch. They really challenge how you think of like cinema and act. Like he plays with all formats. Like he plays with the acting, he plays with the set, he plays with the stuff, he plays with every aspect of a film. But sometimes with that, he just breaks it. And then it's not able to fit together well enough after the fact. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Those were our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. This podcast is produced solely by us with musical assets from Pixabay. If you enjoyed this, please do share it. See you again next time.
Bye-bye.